When it comes to Black Ops 6, there's probably no surprise to you guys that I'm having a great time with the game. I'm pleasantly surprised as to how the game is turning out compared to how I personally feel Cold War turned out. Usually, I'm not one to really solely post critiques or post my dislikes about this game because I tend to try to post things about what I like about the game as opposed to posting what I dislike about the game. I already feel like there's kind of a lot of negativity surrounding the game, and I usually don't like adding to that negativity, and I tend to think that talking about the positives most of the time is better for the long term in terms of content creation. At least that's how I feel. I don't want to seem like someone who complains all the time. However, I also don't want to come off as if everything is perfect with the game and I have no issues whatsoever with it. Because the game sure does have its issues, at least in my eyes, and this is what I'm here to talk about today. With 3 DLC maps behind us and no new zombies map this season, I think this is a good checkpoint for me to reflect on the game and what I would want changed about it. Dear Treyarch, this is what I would have changed going into Black Ops 7 and beyond. This is your boy Clam Rally, and welcome back to the freaking channel. This list will be in no particular order, so what I'm going to start with is the always online aspect of the game. Now, this isn't something that I think will be changed into Black Ops 7, but one can dream, man. It doesn't take a scientist to understand why this is a bad thing. It means that there is an end date for this game. If they decide they want to shut down these servers, we won't have access to this game playing it offline, and we would just have no say in that. They claim that the game is supposed to use texture streaming in order to deliver the highest quality visuals while also reducing the game's overall storage space. Well, I really want to know how big the game was before this, because the game's fucking huge. 10 years down the line, if I feel like I want to go play Shattered Veil again, I just won't be able to if they shut these servers down. Now, one can hope that they somehow offer a way for you to download the maps in the actual game itself. That would be absolutely incredible if they ever did something like that. I doubt it, but one can hope. Again, one can dream, man. The next thing I wanted to talk about was this pause timer. Granted, this is kind of a smaller issue, but why the fuck do we have 15 minutes on our pause timer? What? I mentioned this before in one of my past videos as something that is absolutely awful when it comes to this. Like, bro, what if I have to fucking shit? You know, or like, what if I just want to kind of leave the game on and then I go cook some food? Maybe it takes 16 minutes. It's just, I know it sounds dumb, right? But realistically, it's like, why can't we just at least make it an hour? But Clambo, just save the game, save and quit, and then go back in. It'll reset. Why do I have to do that? Anyways, that's dumb. I'm so thankful for save and quit, as buggy as it can be, but pause timer, dumb. Next, I actually want to talk about something that has to do with the gameplay, the Scorestreaks. So a little while ago, I was really interested in the idea of Scorestreaks being in zombies. I kind of thought it was a cool idea to be in zombies, and I always wanted to see them implemented. Mind you, I had this thought like pre-Cold War and all that stuff. I'm good now. I'm good. Like, okay, they aren't the worst, at least when it comes to like the war machine or the death machine or like handheld weapons. Admittedly, they're pretty fun to use, just mowing down hordes of zombies. But when you go to like the chopper gunner, it's like, why do we have a chopper gunner here in zombies? With the handheld weapons, at least you can go down while you're using them. Like, it's unlikely, but at least you can go down. It just seemed like kind of yet another thing that don't make the game as difficult as it could be. Now, maybe they could implement it differently. Maybe they can make it a power-up like the death machine used to be and maybe give you a random kill streak. Maybe they could make its own separate machine where you put salvage into and it acts like a mystery box and you get a random one. Maybe, I mean, I guess, but I just don't like the way they're implemented right now. The same goes for the mutant injection. It's just, it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it's so cool, but it's so easy. I mean, come on. I'm usually one of those people that can kind of not use something if I don't like using it, and I'm usually fine, but I'm not a fan of these. Next thing I want to talk about is something that I actually don't hear all that much when it comes to things people criticize about this game, and it's lazy augments with the perks. Now, let me be clear. I have heard people complaining about some augments, but I feel like the level of complaining doesn't match the issue I have with it, so I'm going to bring it up here. And look no further than Death Perception as my best example of that. Now, I know minor augments are what they say. They're supposed to be minor upgrades to your perk, but this is really minor. This is really small. The minimap scan rate is increased. Are we serious? Increased perception radius? Are we serious? Even with stamina. Look, free faller. That's cool. I like that. But like, there's no way I'm using stalker over that. Like, let's be real. And then there's no way I'm using quarterback over hotfoot. Like, what? No way. Like, I wish they got a little bit more creative with these augments. Like, again, I really want them to dive deep into augments next game to make it kind of more like a roguelike. That would be so amazing. Like I want trees in this bitch. And while I'm on the topic of augments, I know they're never going to do this. I really want them to give me some numbers here. I play a game like Risk of Rain, and it tells me exactly how much damage this does compared to the other abilities. Like, bitch, I want to know how much more my fire rate increases so that I know this is a well worth augment to have. Like, just as an example, you feel me? I wish they had that in the next game. The next thing I want to talk about is the reused bosses throughout all the maps. I do kind of like how they interact with one another, especially in the Shattered Vale, where the Elder Disciple can force the evolution upon the zombies to eventually make an amalgam. I think that's fucking awesome. I wish there was another evolution path for zombies to go down that isn't just going to an amalgam. Make a new enemy that it can evolve into. That would be great. Because I'm getting pretty sick of the amalgam here. I just think he's too bullet spongy, and he doesn't do much more for me than just being that, and it's just kind of annoying. And the fact that he can suck zombies into himself and heal himself is really obnoxious. I don't even really care for the mimic either. I mean, after the first couple times, it's like, all right, I know it's the mimic. Like, I mean, come on. The only one I do really like is the Doppelgast, but I'm sick of seeing him all the time, and I wish we had just new boss zombies with each map. Like I said, I kind of like them, but they're starting to get old. The parasites I think are fine, but the vermin, I'm sick of the vermin too. But I do really appreciate the toxic zombies that are in the Shattered Vale. I'm sick of seeing the vermin. Like, not to say that we've never had consistent special zombies coming around, like originally the dogs. I actually like the dogs, so I don't mind seeing them all the time, but I'm sick of the vermin. And on the topic of reusing things, I want to talk about the wonder weapons. Now, I'm not totally upset with how they've implemented the reused wonder weapons in the game. I think the Wonderwaffe and the ray gun are just fine. And even the Mark II is fine in terms of them being reused. I think they're cool wonder weapons for sure. But I just want some new stuff, like some brand new stuff. Like, does that make sense? I appreciate how the ice staff is implemented in the tomb, and I appreciate how the ray gun Mark II is implemented in Shattered Vale. And I'm really pleased as to how the jet gun turned out in Liberty Falls, but I just want a brand new wonder weapon. Like, come on. That used to be like the key thing to each map, and I guess that's kind of how it is for newer players because they haven't experienced the Mark II or the jet gun or the ice staff before if they're starting with modern zombies. But you know me, I've been here all along. I just want some new shit. Same with the perks. I appreciate double tap returning, but honestly, it should have been there from the start. I want some new shit. Which brings me to the next topic of drip feeding content, and more specifically, drip feeding us old content. Like I said, I want new stuff. I do appreciate the newness that the augments make the perks and the augments make the field upgrades and the weapons returning, of course, but I'd rather have new things. Sometimes it's okay to dip into what we've had before, but I just, if I say I want new stuff anymore, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I've said my piece. And pretty much, I think the last thing I want to talk about for things that I just really, really dislike in this game, and this is going to be my biggest thing for this game, it's the loadout system. The loadout system is my biggest criticism of this game because it takes two of the most vital parts of zombies and renders them next to useless: the wall buys and the mystery box. Realistically, guys, and I'm pretty sure we're mostly in agreement on this, who uses the mystery box for a regular weapon? And who buys a gun from off of the wall? I do acknowledge the benefit of spending points on a wall weapon that's a higher tier when you get to later in the rounds. I do appreciate that. That gives it a little bit more incentive. Also from the mystery box too, gives it a little bit more incentive so you don't have to spend your salvage on it. But the whole draw of the mystery box was to get another gun, not to get a higher tier gun. Like just imagine if you spawned in with the RPK in Black Ops 1. That was like the gun that I always went to. There'd be no reason to hit the mystery box. And the loadout system also extends to the gobblegum system too, because now you spawn in with 3 gobblegums. I hate that. When was that? Like the launch of Citadel or like the launch of the Squid Game event where you started with 3 gobblegums? I can't remember exactly when it was, but you just spawn in with 3 gums. Why? That makes the machine very much next to useless. Maybe not entirely useless, but you get what I'm saying. I like zombies when you can literally start with nothing at all. Nothing. And then you just eventually go buy or eventually unlock other things in different ways. I don't even like the way BO4 did it. I know it was less egregious, but I just don't think loadouts have any place in zombies. I think the only thing in this game that's facilitating this camo grind is the loadout system, because imagine going in with nothing and wanting to get a specific gun to get camos on. You'd have to hit the box or you'd have to wall buy something. And over time, people are going to get pissed at that. Do I like going for camos? I absolutely do. But I just don't know if it's worth this loadout system in the game. I just don't like it. I've been hearing people talk about potential solutions to the loadout system by making it something that you eventually get later on in the game, like you can unlock later. And I guess that would work out a little bit so that, you know, you're still starting with nothing, but if you want to camo grind a weapon, then you can just go to the loadout box or whatever the fuck they're gonna do, or whatever the fuck they should do rather, and you just get like a gray rarity gun you can upgrade. I think that'd be fine. But like, just imagine in Warzone, imagine being able to spawn in with your loadout. Like if you're just playing regular ass Warzone, I feel like that'd be totally busted. It's not as much of a problem in this because it's a PvE game mode, but still the same thing applies, I would say. And the very last thing I'm going to very, very briefly talk about, not because I dislike it, but because nobody else likes it. The point system. Just change it back. Simple as that. I'd rather everyone be happy about that than me just be happy about that, you know? I can live with it. And when they change the point system back to how it was, you guys can then thank me because I'll be the reason for that. And Treyarch, when you guys implement all the stuff that I'm asking you to change, just leave the check on the table. I'll come pick it up. But all jokes aside, those are the main issues I have with this game. If they can fix those in the next game and have good maps, that could be my favorite game in the series. Like, look, I'm just saying. But let's be real, Black Ops 1 will always have my heart. I still want to wait to see how Black Ops 6 ends up so I can then properly rate it compared to every other game. But man, look, I'm having fun with the game. I just wish those things were changed. That's all. I put up a poll the other day asking you what the single biggest issue you have with Black Ops 6 Zombies is, and a lot of you said the point system. So I really wanted to add that in this video. But a lot of you said the stability. Absolutely, fully agree with that. If it's gonna be always online, make it fucking stable. Some of you said it's way too much to put into one grievance. I think that's a little dramatic, but I understand. AI, yep, I can get behind that. Somebody said the rarity system too. I don't have any problem with the rarity system, but I respect your grievances with it. And Justice brought up theater mode. Yeah, why don't we have theater mode? But yeah, that's gonna be about it. If you have any more issues with the game that I didn't bring up in this video, please let me know in the comments. I'm excited for Grief. Yeah, Grief's gonna be awesome. Hopefully we can get some sort of content creator Grief going on. Me and Hometown? Bro, any chumps out there want to go against us, let me know. But I appreciate you guys for sticking to the end of the video. That's going to be about it. Your boy Clambo is out of here. I will see y'all soon. Peace.